At this magical moment, Yuguo invited West to collaborate. Unexpectedly, after the show, West ran backstage like a pondering puppy. But Frell looked puzzled and asked West why he was hanging around, and West just blinked. "Weren't you the one who called?" "So here we go." West explained why he was there, and Frell was just a big question mark, saying he wouldn't let anyone near Yuguo. However, West wasn't there to steal the spotlight. After all, Yuguo was Frell's trusty sidekick. He wasn't about to pull a fast one. Hearing this, Frell breathed a sigh of relief, but as he ordered West to stop nonsense, Yuguo interjected. "Ignore him, silly West. Just ignore him. I'm the boss here. I just say, you step aside. I recommend you listen to me. This kind of behavior isn't the best to know. No, what's the appropriate way to put this?" West immediately thought Frell was a nutcase. One moment he was trying to keep him there, and the next insisting he leave talk about mixed. The absurd part was that West noticed blood on Frell's hand and Yuguo bite him. With a jolt in his heart, he angrily spun around and stormed out of the bar. Despite the prior awkwardness, West invited Frell for a drink warmly, as old friends. At this time, a middle-aged man entered with two beauties, one of whom instantly spotted Frell as a famous master, her mouth agape. She took an interest in Frell's puppet Yuguo and boldly approached him, but when Yuguo opened his mouth, he called her a temptress of virtue. The woman, thinking Frell insulted her, asked the middle-aged man to intervene. He demanded an apology, but Yuguo interrupted before Frell could apologize. Well, Yuguo's temper wasn't good either, and once again literally gave that lady a taste of rudeness. West rushed in to break up the chaos, escorting a tipsy Frell back to the hotel, thinking to himself, well, that was just toothy. Once back in the room, Frell yelled about how he couldn't take this life anymore, telling West that Yuguo wanted to destroy him, but West just thought he was drunk. West couldn't grasp how a puppet had the power to ruin its master. He advised Frell to rest, but Frell flipped out. Frell angrily accused West of wanting to steal Yuguo away and kicked him out, but West's heart was made of stone, so he didn't leave. He took Frell back into bed like a gentleman and quietly left the room after making sure everything was settled. However, at midnight, West was woken by frantic knocking and, on opening, found it was Frell. Frell accused West of stealing Yuguo immediately, while West thought, "I put Yuguo on your bed." He insisted Frell leave immediately so he could sleep, otherwise he would literally kick him out. But at that moment, Frell actually discovered Yuguo on West's bed. What on earth was happening? Was Yuguo running around on his own? So Frell concluded that West had stolen his beloved puppet. This was absurdity at its finest. However, thankfully, West managed to escape that ordeal, while Frell was charged with attempted murder. Talk about a mixed bag. After reviewing West's testimony, Dr. Fan wanted to figure out if Frell had any mental issues and thought it might be best to start with Yuguo. So he had someone from the precinct bring Yuguo back to Frell and took the chance to observe Frell's reaction from outside. Faced with Yuguo's merciless jabs, Frell felt he couldn't take it any longer and ultimately decided to eliminate Yuguo from the game himself because he assumed he could never have it. Just as Dr. Fan was observing Frell's demeanor, he hurriedly called the police to bust down the door, but alas, it was too. Yuguo's body had been utterly crushed by Frell, and reluctantly Dr. Fan called in the injured and recently discharged West, hoping to provoke Frell's reaction. Yet, the terrifying thing that followed was when Frell saw West. He started speaking in Yuguo's voice, saying he had always been waiting. Subtitles. This puzzled Dr. Fan for long until he realized, with science, Frell had dual personality. One was real Frell, the other puppet Yuguo. Ultimately, Yuguo's persona sees Frell's body. Frell's persona had always been too weak and lacked confidence in his performance, yearning to become a successful master. Then one day, while fetching drinks for Dr. Fan, he accidentally broke his glasses, utterly unintentional. Craig saw this and panicked, because in his nightmare, when Dr. Fan's glasses broke, something terrifying really happened. He urged others to leave, insisting on being alone with Dr. Fan. Then, possessed-like, Craig strangled Dr. Fan to death. After killing Dr. Fan, even scarier events unfolded as he saw Sally with a group of friends playing hide and seek. Oddly enough, Sally appeared not to recognize Craig at all and even told him to find a place to hide. How strange. When Craig entered the room, he met Peter and asked him to hide him in the mirror room, but was refused. Then Sally found Craig again, but Craig just knocked her out with one punch, taking her down with ease. Just as Craig turned around, he spotted Yuguo and West, but it seemed they already knew Craig's dark secret. They mocked for never performing before a murderer. Yuguo shouted, "Any cops here?" Subtitles. After Craig heard this, he hurriedly and anxiously ran out of the room, yet suddenly he found himself surrounded by a group of people and was ultimately thrown into prison. What a terrifying ordeal. Craig met Yuguo again. Yuguo seemed to gain consciousness, slowly approached and choked him with both hands. It seemed he was aiming to kill Craig. This moment was just too dramatic. Then suddenly, as the scene shifted, a woman entered the room, waking the still sleeping Craig. As it turns out, everything that happened in the movie was just one of Craig's nightmares, but the film wasn't over yet. As Craig suddenly received the caller, Elliot asked Craig via a friend to repair his old house. Craig agreed, relieved. Yet, one thing his wife said made Craig's heart skip, because each time he woke up, he couldn't remember what happened in the dream. But her word reminded him of his dream experience. The name of the farm owner in his dream was Elliot. Though Craig found things a bit peculiar, he still went to the farm as promised, and the movie once again returned to the beginning. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe while you're here.